But as I say, the Philip Morris using the royal logos, and Marlborough, of course, using the pyramid, all going back to the London. London is the center of all of this, center of the Templars, even though, again, on paper they look like Catholic, but that's just mostly a ruse. Here's the dragons around their emblem, the crest, for the Dragon Court. And the Corporation of London is actually a corporation, by the way, and they have all the protections that that type of status brings them. That Templar cross is on the Union Jack. There it is. In the center of the Union Jack, the red cross is a Templar cross. Now, of course, the Masons don't go around advertising that they're Masons. It's not Monty Python. They're not going to be doing weird handshakes in front of you on the street or funny walks. So then how do they actually let each other know? As we said, it's through all of their symbolism. How would you know otherwise if you weren't a member of the lodge? A lot of the statements that we use, like all fair and square, or I'm on the level, or you'll get a square deal here, have percolated down into modern, language because they're actually Masonic, and there's many of these terms. All's fair and square, and so on. 3 square meals a day. All of this kind of verbiage. The handshakes, of course, are now familiar. But when you look at these rock videos and the new advertisements that come out, last time we showed a couple of examples, the blindfold and the rope, it's becoming more and more apparent in our mainstream daily life. As I said, go up there to Redbergsplatz and Cemetery and you'll see these elites, or their tombs. Very interesting symbolism up there, sphinxes and all sorts of things. It's a case of one rule for them, one rule for us. This percolates right down to the most basic level of the jobs you're going to get, the advancement that your children will get, or the lack of it. Here we have from the Los Angeles Times, a particular situation, and it says here in the headlines, the head story about this conflict with street gangs and the police involved in it. It said, according to one source, district attorney officials do not plan to give these are the 3 policemen that were implicated, an opportunity to surrender themselves to authorities today. They're going to be arrested, the source said. They're not part of the Brotherhood. They are not part of any fraternity. They're going to be arrested like anyone else. It's the Los Angeles Times literally admitting, oh, well, we're not going to give them a break. They're not part of the Masonic order. And they do it openly, not only to gain your support that you might join, which they're now doing. They've got campaigns all over the place to recruit new people, you see, to Masonry. But they're doing this to show you will be privileged. And we buy into it because we don't have any inner sovereignty, so we'll buy into all of this. And through this ad copy as well, they're letting you know. Here's some more examples of that. A handshake is a Masonic connection. Or socialism, which is nothing more than exoteric, socially presented Masonry. The Fabian network. And the gripping of the knuckle also signifies rank. There you see it again. It's a very specific handshake. You can notice it easily. I mean, it's almost laughable in a way. You think the Marx brothers or something, but this matters. And it seduces so many people into this nonsense. Again, partly anthropologically we can understand it. The whole idea of a tribal group. Loyalty is a very high virtue. And so they prey upon this as well. By first getting your loyalty, there's a lot of emphasis on that you've given us your oath, you've given us your loyalty. And that's easy to manipulate in people. They're virtues. But as the great playwrights like Shakespeare and others have shown, it is often by your virtues that a hero is brought down, not his vices. And they work on this principle. Creating a whole network of pseudo-morality and pseudo-affiliation. Then we come to this very important symbol used by the Dionysian cult again, which is the butterfly. It's a code word for the sacrificial victim. Just like we saw with the Rolling Stones song Dandelion, is basically a play on that. And boy oh boy, the butterfly is just so ubiquitous. An incredible, of course it's a short-lived, highly beautiful, right? Creature, the butterfly. So there's a metaphor there. And it's found in a lot of women's symbolism. In the symbolism, a lot of female celebrities, you'll keep finding it. We saw that album cover last time we met, and that the symbol of the butterfly or the monarch butterfly literally directly refers to a specific kind of mind control that's used to disassociate the human mind. Basically, it would affect the long-term memory and things like that. There's a whole sub-study of that. Here it is around the eye again, a single eye. Here it is with Britney Spears. You see the butterfly on the solar rays. Or it can be done this way, through the gestures and hand gestures. And these so-called celebrities, pop stars, are right there next to the political figures. It's almost, that also has become ubiquitous. They may dress like rebels. It's like I said, they've co-opted a lot of the imagery of iconoclastic genres of music. But they're hardly rebels in the true sense of the word, any more than Bob Geldof and his coterie were, you see. No, in fact, give them a couple of moments of fame, and the next minute they're up there, serenading the highest royals. People go, oh, well, that's just to make the royals look trendy. No, it's not. They don't care if they look trendy or not. It's something completely different. We looked at the Venusian symbol, because remember I said that the cult of Dionysus can also be referred to as a Venusian cult, based on both the positive and negative aspects of the symbols connected to Venus, one of which is Lucifer. Lucifer was, in one school of thought, Lucifer and Venus were identical, both mythologically and astrologically. There's the butterfly symbol again, the arms, the spread of the arms. Another one that's used perpetually is the rainbow symbol. It not only pertains to a certain lodge within Freemasonry, which is known as the Rainbow Lodge, and that Rainbow Lodge is particularly joined by women. A lot of people think that Masonry doesn't have lodges for women. It does. It absolutely does. And one of them, I believe, is called the Rainbow Lodge, of a lodge for women. So when you see these Dionysian symbols in a setting in which the model is shown erotically, you see there's a lot more going on than we would first imagine. There it is again. That's Anita Pallenberg, as I said, was very closely involved with the Rolling Stones. Or the supine, there's the cross that Madonna also used on the floor there. And just this general sort of supine, submissive, incompetent posing. It's quite common. There's the butterfly again and the solar rays. Enormously interesting symbolism. Symbol of the red rose, you'll find it in a lot of movies as well. I think when we showed the clip of the murder by decree, on the desk of the Freemason you saw the rose. It'll often be right there, but it'll be so obvious you won't notice it in a way. So the red rose, and the play on the numerology of the word rose, I mean there's a lot of history, a lot of symbolism behind just the symbolism of the rose. I guess for our purposes it would connect to the Rosicrucians, a branch of Freemasonry. As I said, members of the Grateful Dead are frequent visitors of the Bohemian Grove. That's been confirmed. This is similar to the poster I was mentioning, but this is actually Joe Gallant. He's the arranger of the Grateful Dead songs like Blues for Allah. His separate band or separate poster also features the term Illuminati. Basically the guy that wrote a lot of the Grateful Dead songs. Here's another one in which it features an Egyptian obelisk, no less. And again, Illuminati is the term, the title of the album. Corporate logo using the rose. What's the rose got to do with technology? Until you understand the secret society levels of symbolism, it wouldn't make any sense. Here again. Here again. In this way, it's almost connected to the poppies. Poppies being opium. That's the psychedelic cult I'm talking about. Cult of Dionysus is nothing more than the drug cult, the mushroom cult of old, the Eleusinian cults of ancient times. And they have many, many agents. Here you see the Guns N' Roses logo, Guns and Roses. Doesn't mean anything until you look at it from a symbolic point of view. And the symbol of the cross and the skulls and crosses, those are Knights Templar symbols. Those are skull and bones symbols. Or can be sometimes very obvious. The pyramid. Here it is on Life magazine, the Freemasons photographed in a pyramidical shape. You see, that's what I'm saying. You turn around 5 minutes later, it's on some corporate ad. We never think anything of it. Here's Pizza Hut. Look at the symbolism. The ziggurat, the pyramid, and the sun, and the pentagram. Access Hollywood, pentagram, and the pyramid without the capstone. We looked at, was it Cartoon Network? Now you have Nickelodeon. It's one of the largest channels in American television for children, using all that occult symbolism. In fact, the children's world, as I said, is just absolute. We could do a whole thing on that.